Today we are doing similar triangles again, but we want to prove similar triangles this time. So last time we had similar shapes and we were just trying to find scale factors or find values of missing sides in our similar triangles. But now we actually want to prove that things are similar as well. So remember, congruent figures are identical in every way, but similar figures have the same shape, which means the angles are all the same, but they are different size, which means it's been enlarged or reduced, and the lengths differ by a common scale factor. To prove that triangles are similar, we have some tests. Now they look a lot like the congruence ones, okay? But there is a slight difference in the meaning. So the first one, the abbreviation is SSS over here. It means that all the corresponding sides are not equal, they're in the same ratio. So you need to show that they have the same scale factor, the same common ratio for each of the three sides. For SAS, you want to show that two sides are in the same ratio and your included angle is equal. Let's skip the next one. RHS is your right angle and your hypotenuse and your sides, same as before. It's two sides again, which will be in the same ratio, and your right angle, of course, which will be the same in both of them. The difference between the tests for congruence, you remember there was a test in there that was AAS. There's no AAS for similarity. Instead, we have AAA. There's no point in having AAS because you have to have at least two sides to be able to see that the ratios are the same. Okay, so you're never going to have one where there's just one side comparing a ratio. So AAA, all you're doing is showing that all three angles are the same, and it is the most common one that usually shows up. And we also call that one equiangular. You'll see that word written down. These triangles are similar because they are equiangular, which means that all the angles are the same. All right, so note the symbol used for similarity, we know that already, is three vertical lines. The abbreviations SSS, SAS, AAA, and RHS are no longer expressed with similarity in the New South Wales syllabus, but they are used to prove similarity. They prefer, although we have them written there as abbreviations, we prefer to write a description at the end, like when we do our little conclusion, rather than writing the little test there. So instead of AAA, you'd say these are similar because they're equiangular. Does that make sense? We want to explain it rather than just write those tests down, because otherwise it can be confused with congruence because they're so similar to congruence. All right, examples. Find a pair of similar triangles amongst those shown and give a reason for your answer. So have a quick look. Which ones do you think are the similar ones? Okay, why? How can we show it? Or how can we explain it? Because it does say give a reason. So it is going to be, they are right. A is similar to B. How can I justify what they've told me? Well, what do we know about the sides and the angles? So going from A, I have 2 would go to 4, wouldn't it? And that's multiplying by 2. And 3 multiplies by 2 to give 6. So you're multiplying each of those sides by a scale factor of 2. And you also have the 135 degrees as an included angle for both of them. Okay, so we just write that down as an explanation. So we'd go sides have a scale factor of 2 and the included angle, included angle is equal. Okay, so although we're not really doing tests, we're basically talking about the SAS, two sides and the included angle in that. All right, next page. Question 2. Prove. As soon as you see those words, prove, we need to do a properly set out proof to show that the two triangles are similar. So remember, my recommendation is a 5-step process where you start with an introduction, because I'm going to say in triangle ABC and triangle EDC. Okay, they're the two triangles that we have there. Okay, have a look, have a think of the 4 tests that I just talked to you about. Which one do you think I can use for those triangles? Do I have sides? Where? As in known, do I know some sides? I can use the angles only. There's actually, the arrows that are on there mean that they're parallel. I don't know how long they are, I just know that they're parallel. So the only things I can work with in this diagram is going to be angles. Okay, so it's going to have to be A. So the first angle, let's start with angle ACB. So ACB, I'm talking about that angle there. It's going to be equal to the one directly across from it. How would I label it? Remember to match your vertices. Correct. Angle ECD. What reason would I give? Not angles at a point? Vertically opposite. Excellent. So vert-op for short, vertically opposite. Angles are equal. Okay, I still need 2 more sets of angles here. What else? Okay, let's start with maybe this one up here. So that's going to be BAC. It's going to be equal to which one? DEC. Yes, correct. That one in there. What reason? Alternate. Very good. That's where the parallel lines are important. So the Z shape going across those parallel lines means alternate angles. So alt angles are equal. And that means, of course, I can do alternate angles going the other way as well. So that one and that one, which would be angle ABC equals angle EDC, also because alternate angles are equal. Okay, so my last line is to do a conclusion. Therefore, triangle ABC is similar. Match the vertices. What's the vertices? A matches with E and D, C. Now it is the test AAA, but remember before I said we prefer to, for these ones, for similar, we prefer to write a little description. And for AAA, we just need to say because they're equiangular. They are equiangular. Okay, so for some of the other ones, it might be 2 sides are in the same ratio and the included angle is equal. It's more the description of the test that you use in that last little statement. Okay, last question here is to find the value of the pronumeral in each of those diagrams there. We have done some of these already. And remember, I was encouraging you to set them up as fractions because it makes it easier as they get a little bit more complicated. So you always want to start with the pronumeral that you're trying to find, which in part A here is the letter A. You want to find the side that matches with that in the other one. Which one matches? The 18. And you make it a fraction. So A on the top goes with the 18 in the second triangle. Equals. Then I go back to my first triangle again. What other side do I have? 8 matches with the 14. Okay, by doing that, I now just want to get the A by itself so I can solve. So I'm going to times the 18. This will be 8 over 14 times the 18 over to the other side. And then you will type that into your calculator to get your answer. Don't expect these answers to always turn out nicely. Do you want to type that one in? Or am I just going to tell you what it equals? tell you. Are you being lazy? 10 and 2/7. That is in centimeters. Okay, B. In B, we have got two triangles. I have got a little triangle in here, and I'm going to do that bigger one around the outside, the blue one. Or maybe I'll need to do that a bit closer so you can still see the measurements. There we go. So you've got a little orange one and a big blue one going around the outside. C is actually not one of the whole sides. It's only part of the side, isn't it? In the blue triangle. So the side that has the C in it, I want to do C plus 15. That's the whole side of that blue triangle. What would it match with? So I'm going to go over the 15 in the little triangle equals, back to big triangle, what have I got? 16 over little triangle, 9. Okay, to solve that, like before, I'm first of all going to times the 15 over to the other side. So C plus 15 equals 16 over 9 times 15. Okay, that equals 26 and 2/3. But I still have to get rid of the 15, so I'm going to do a little minus 15 from both sides, and C is equal to 11 and 2/3. They can get a little bit more complicated than that. You could actually have, say, C on the top and the bottom of that equation. Okay, so just be careful. There is a very tricky one of those that you will need to work out for your test. So practice that method